Streaming, and we're live. As always, YouTube says I have bad quality. I say you have bad quality, YouTube.
What does YouTube know, man? Seriously.
Oh, man, we got a lot to talk about. Follow-up based on the video processing test we ran last week. Got an update on that. We're going to talk about Google I/O and Google Duplex. We're going to talk about Nvidia GPP, and you had another thing. Recent bug, latest bugs known with the latest Windows build.
Yes, with the April update, a Windows update.
And the cocaine breathalyzer is a thing. So with that, we're going to roll the intro.
Finally. Welcome to Tech Talk number 161. Ooh, I actually had it up this time. Yeah. All right, anyways, enjoy the show, guys. We're going to talk about some topics, some technical stuff, and then probably trail off into completely nonsensical bullshit, because that's what we do. Enjoy the show.
That's what we do. Wait, why is the intro looping?
I don't know. I don't configure your shit.
I've literally, in all the times I've done this, I've never had the intro. Like, it looked like it looped on my end, but it. Oh, no, it didn't actually loop. I'm stupid. I was looking at the actual live stream.
Hey, could somebody cut that soundbite out where he said I'm stupid and send it to me? Thank you.
Is it going to be your ringtone?
It's going to be my ringtone, and I'm going to put it on my stream deck.
No joke. The stream is not that far delayed, so by the time the intro ended on OBS, it started on the stream. It's only like 12 seconds behind. And so I literally looked at one window and then the other, and I thought it looped, but it didn't. So you guys got an extra black screen there for like 12 seconds. Okay.
It's okay. We like to keep them on their toes, man. Keep them on their toes.
Yeah. That's how I like to do it.
I knew that was coming. I totally knew that was coming. Okay.
And demonetized. Demonetized.
Words, Jay. Words.
It sounds like I've been drinking. I haven't been. I'm a little bit delirious because if you guys aren't aware, we're filming season 3 of Man vs. Build in Vegas next week, which means I'm going to be out of the office the entire week, which means I needed a week worth of videos to have ready to go live. So this week alone, we shot 2 weeks worth of videos, and they're edited in the hopper, scheduled, and ready to go live starting tomorrow. So yeah, that's... I worked myself really silly. Hey, my camera froze again.
I actually did the same thing, Jay. I shot about 12 or 15 videos and edited them, and they're all in the can. I just haven't uploaded them yet.
Yeah. They're still in this can, right? The one above your shoulders?
Technically. Well, I mean, they're here, yeah. They'll come out eventually. It'll be fine.
Guys, my camera's going to probably freeze a bunch throughout this. I don't know why it does that. It does. So.
Wait. What's the make and model on it? Could you tell us who made that camera?
Microsoft.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering.
To be fair, I took the other webcam home, the better webcam, because I started my vlog series on the second channel again, and so I needed that there. So,
Where could somebody find this second channel if they didn't know about it, Jay?
The main header of my channel. It's been there since day one. you know, at the top of your main channel where it shows your social media, like the Twitter button and all that stuff.
Yeah, but does anybody actually even go to that page?
Same reason why nobody even reads the description. Which is why at the bottom of this stream it has all the information you need to know about this stream and how we rarely talk about tech, but people are still going to ask where's the tech. So,
oh my God, Jay's vlogs! Wow, so glad I discovered this channel finally. Oh my God,
48,000 people got lost somewhere better and stumbled across that channel and hit subscribe.
Wow, it's got almost as many subscribers as I do.
You mean active viewers?
Yeah, active viewers. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have 45,000 active viewers. I wish.
So I just scarfed this down because I'm on this quest of, and this is before we get started with our tech topics, but I'm on this quest of trying to curb hunger. If you guys have watched the vlog from last night, I'm trying to curb hunger with a little bit more healthy snacks. This is beef jerky from Carnivore Candy. My wife actually got me this supply crate thing of men's snacks, but they're healthy, right? And so this was it's a beef jerky. It's a sweet picante from Carnivore Candy. And the whole bag was 115 calories, 135 calories.
That's not bad. I think you said 130 something. Yeah.
Well, it's 45 calories per serving in those 3 servings. So, I'm way under my caloric intake today, though, especially with riding the bike. 'Cause it's 25 miles round trip riding it to work. So that's okay, though. To the tech topics.
Tech topics.
We're not going to get started with the hook, the one that's obviously in the title. And real quick, we're going backwards for a second here. The way we kind of led off with all of our topics, didn't it feel very Top Gear-ish? Today, Jerry drinks coffee. Jay flexes his man flab, and Nick is nowhere to be seen. So it's like, right? It's kind of like,
oh, poor Nick.
no, we love Nick. Actually, Nick's going to be working here all next week as contractor, like doing stuff while I'm out for the week. So a lot of people are just like, where the hell's Nick? Nick is actually going to be taking a position with a worldwide logistics company, but he's in an interim period right now where it hasn't started yet. So he's going to be doing some contract stuff for me in the meantime. A lot of people think Nick and I had this like big falling out. No, I can't fall out with Nick. It's a hate crime if I do. So
that's true. It actually is on 2 levels, actually.
Yes, double hate crime. Although I hear he has quite the career ready for customer service. So.
Yeah, he's got it on lockdown. And if that fails, he can do scammer calls too. So he's got it, man. He's
set. You know what's funny is we're going to talk about Nick for a second here. We're going to embarrass him. He's not here to defend
Let's
himself.
do it.
A lot of people think he's black. You know he's not.
What?
He's half Indian and half. His dad's from Panama. So yeah, it's like it's just two dark skinned cultures, and
damn. Now I feel Nick. Really racist all of a sudden.
So yeah, I mean it's like that's why everyone's always like, "Who's the black guy?" I'm like, "What black guy? There's no black guy here."
Actually, no. Basically, that means that nothing we've ever said is racist because he's not really black. There we go. Saved.
Wait a minute. Does it only count if the person you're directing it to fits said criteria?
Yes. Like I think
that seems like a cop-out answer.
I know. I gotta ask Eminem. He'd know.
Eminem.
Eminem.
That's behavioral versus genetics. There's a difference there.
I'm so ignorant.
I'm ignorant.
Oh, I got so ignorant. Oh, ignorant.
Yeah, guys, I'm gonna trust me. I know it's freezing. I'll fix it as we go along. So, all right, first topic up. Nvidia squashes the entire GPP or the GeForce Partnership Program.
Yeah, I heard about that. That was, but they were catching like loads of shit, right?
Yeah,
everything I saw on social media was against it. Nobody was for it.
And what's funny is their blog, like they put their own little blog up, kind of addressing it, and they were basically like, due to massive or inaccuracies and misinformation, they decided to squash the program because negative publicity for them, right? And it's kind of funny that they were just basically like, well, we're gonna go ahead and end this because everyone's just sort of lying, and But you know what? The writing was on the wall. And
total cop-out.
It had already happened with MSI and Asus. Like literally within a week of the news breaking about GPP, MSI stopped showing the Gaming X edition of Nvidia or AMD cards. And there was always a Gaming X Nvidia card and a Gaming X AMD card. And if you guys aren't aware of what the GPP allegedly was, it was basically where Nvidia was trying to stop brands from aligning their top-tier gaming line, like the ROG, or Republic of Gamers Strix, right? The MSI Gaming X, and stop cross-branding them between AMD and NVIDIA products. Basically, they were going to be like, if you are going to be putting your top-tier gaming line with an NVIDIA card, then it can only be on an NVIDIA card. You can't put that same like Strix series on an AMD card. So,
and they were offering preferential treatment for it.
They were offering preferential treatment, frontline access in terms of GPU allocation, and even advertising money on launch day for new GPUs. Typically, when NVIDIA launches a new family of graphics card, right? We're all waiting for the 2080 or 1180, whatever they're going to call it. Next family of graphics cards. What's being shilled today? Another crappy Audi? Hey, the Audi was pretty awesome.
That was pretty awesome Audi. I liked it.
Audi's pretty awesome. But we're going to go ahead and ban that guy just because he opened his mouth and he's being a little dipshit. So we'll go ahead.
Later, bro.
User. Peace. Anyway, so moving forward, basically NVIDIA was trying to control what the parties could call their card, the third parties, the AIBs. But they were giving preferential treatment to GPU allocation when they were available. But when NVIDIA launched a new family of graphics card, what ended up happening was you would only see the NVIDIA Founders card because new families, NVIDIA kept close to the chest. They didn't want, they wanted all of the fanfare and the spotlight. And then about a month or two after, you'd start to see the custom cards trickle out. And then as the family progressed, then you'd see the custom cards launched alongside, the main NVIDIA card.
Yeah.
Well, what the GPP was supposed to do was get you early access to the development of the new family of cards, and remember, this is allegedly, and then get you day one exposure. So NVIDIA would not only launch their new family of card, but then it'd be like, and it's available with the MSI Gaming X and the Asus Strix, right? So you would get that day one kind of, exposure with your new card. So
interesting.
A lot of the information that came out came directly from behind the scenes people with AIBs that were in the circle of no, but there was an awful lot of hearsay because Kyle Bennett over at Hard OCP was the one that broke the story with a lot of anonymous emails and a lot of anonymous memos and stuff that were not traceable, and that it's not like you could trace it back to Nvidia or even these people in the AIBs that were willing to talk about it, because of course this was like, Nvidia is holding your family hostage, and if you talk about this, they're gonna sleep with the fishes, kind of a thing. Like
right.
that's how scared the AIBs were to even acknowledge that such GPP program even existed. So that being squashed now means that the amount of backlash that the public gave regarding this was enough to make a company like Nvidia Cave. Now here's the question. Were they not suspecting or expecting the truth to get out? Or do you think it's literally been blown out of proportion?
No, I think that they did not want the truth to get out, because think about it. If it was nothing like the information that was being leaked, they would have just publicly stated that, oh, no, they would have thrown it all out for everybody to see and just completely declassified it and said, this is what people get for being a part of the partner program. Nothing more, nothing less. Instead, they're just like, oh, people aren't understanding this. We're just going to pull it.
I
that
agree.
tells me that they probably hit the mark and they were like, oh, shit, this is not being received well.
Right. So if you put together this program that you're proud of and you're willing to obviously roll it out, and people started giving you wrong information about it, wouldn't you be like on day one, like, whoa, no, you guys have got this wrong.
Right.
Nvidia sat in silence the entire time until they decided to say, we're stopping the program.
Yeah, and I still didn't see them even try to justify it. They did the opposite, and they're like, oh, yeah, people just are misunderstanding everything, so we're just going to make this thing go away that we're not even confirming or denying.
Pretty much. But what's funny is, like, so Asus had already rolled out, I believe they called it Aries. Like, they had Aries cards in the past, which were custom cards, and they stopped making Aries cards. Like, remember the Mars card? It was like it was like two 760s on the same card, or whatever it was. Nvidia won't allow companies to get creative like that. They won't allow companies to create these monster, these Frankenstein cards anymore. Nvidia is very closed now in what they will allow the partners to do. So the Aries and all that stuff was like one of those lines that was kind of killed off, but they brought the name back. And basically it was like ROG Strix was like the Nvidia cards, and I think it was ROG Aries or something similar to that for the AMD card. Like, that had been made public. So that's why people were confirming, like, oh yeah, the GPP obviously was what we expected. You can't have the same name on an AMD card and an Nvidia card. What's funny is the moment Nvidia like announced that they're killing the program, those custom lines dead. Now they're back to Strix and back to Gaming X. Like, they went right back to, because how much additional was it going to cost them to have to like make all this extra packaging and extra names and stuff? What about the stuff that was already sitting on shelves? You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, even if they didn't want to move it and rebrand it, I mean, to rebrand an existing product would be nightmarishly expensive.
I guarantee you, I know what they would do. The same thing they've done before is they'll literally just print a sticker and send it to the retailers and be like, go slap this label on this box and like cover up the other part. Like, I'm not even kidding. They do that.
So you like steam it and pull the sticker off and it still says Strix behind it?
Pretty much.
Yeah, I think they just got caught. They got caught with their hand in the cookie jar, and they just decided to try to play it off like it was no big deal.
You can't possibly, like, if you're Nvidia, you can't possibly be ignorant enough to think that the truth would not have outed,
Yeah, you know what kind of is interesting though is if you think about it, the only reason to create a program like that where you're trying to get people to basically snub your competitor, like theoretically, right? Snub your competitor would be if you were worried about your competition. And that's the interesting thing here is Nvidia has always been like really dominating everything. But now you got kind of like Ryzen, the AMD graphics cards, though some people would argue that, tier for tier, they're not quite the same performance.
They're
I mean,
not.
cost versus performance, there's some information there. But even so, they must feel threatened by AMD because there's nobody else currently that's really competing on that level. I mean, even with Intel and them trying to do their own GPU initiative and everything like that, that's way off in the future.
Yeah.
So it's like they must legitimately think that AMD is gaining some ground on them.
No, I don't.
Which is
I don't
interesting.
agree with that. And let me tell you why.
Okay.
AMD's last mainstream launch, and I'm not counting Vegas 56 and 64 because that was not a mainstream card. That was them. I don't know what they were doing, to be honest.
But it was nothing new, really.
Well, it was their HBM2, so it was like the successor to the Fury X, which came out back in like 2015. Okay, 2016, June of 2016 was when I had a meeting with AMD here in the studio about the new card. We all thought it was going to be Vega. They basically started the meeting with like, guys, this isn't Vega. It was the 570 and 580, and then of course the 560, and we were kind of like, interesting. because we weren't expecting to see another like higher tier card, I guess, in the 480, because the 480 was when AMD was like, we're not interested in trying to compete in the high-end GPU market, which obviously Vega attempted. But they have not launched another card in the last year. They have not done anything above the 580, and the 580 is right around the GTX 980 in terms of speed, which is now 2 generations old when it comes to Nvidia. So if you go card for card and you go, okay, a 580 is about the same speed as a 980, and if you look at where the 980 came out in like what 2015, then
a long time ago,
then it's like, okay, so what are they trying to compete with here? So I think if you're Nvidia, the point I'm trying to get to here in a very long roundabout way, I think if you're Nvidia, you're looking at this going, they've just lost momentum, right? Vega was a flop. Raja's out. Like that just did not go well. Nvidia did exactly what I thought they would. They dropped the price to 1070. They inserted the 1070 Ti. In terms of just raw performance and power consumption, there was no compelling reason to get a Vega or Vega card at all, unless the compute power that Vega offered was the one thing you needed, because it did beat Nvidia in that market. They closed the gap in the Nvidia side of things, and Vega was too expensive at launch because it couldn't compete at the price point. So they reduced the price of Vega with that stupid $100 back-end rebate thing, which meant there was no profit in Vega at all. So now you've got a company that's hemorrhaging money in terms of no profit on the cards. I think Nvidia's looking at this as a double tap. I think they're looking at this as they were trying to just sort of double tap out the competition entirely.
Like they were already on their way out, so they figured this would be a really easy way for them to just speed it up and snuff them. Okay,
that's what I.
That kind of makes sense.
That's what I feel like Nvidia was trying to do.
That's probably more than likely true. Like after you mention it, that does seem like that would be more likely what they're trying to do, because they had kick them while they're down kind of thing.
They had already won the hardware race, and I think they were trying to finish it off with the marketing war.
I wonder if there's anything else that they were getting out of this too. I wonder, did you hear anything about like how bi-directional the partnership was? What were they getting in return from the people that were signing up for the partnership? Was it all one way in giving to them, or did they require certain things to be met as far as like gaining information or statistics or anything on the sales of those cards from those companies? I'm trying to think if there's any kind of analytical data that they were seeking out here by locking these people into this partnership.
It really sounded like the benefits were they were going to get additional marketing money directly from Nvidia.
Okay.
I think the moment you mentioned getting money, I think was like kind of like, but the thing was, I think that the companies that were willing to participate in the NPP were a little bit less concerned with getting the money versus being concerned with being shunned by the Nvidia Corp in terms of their allocation and the availability of parts that they need to build their cards. Because the allocation and the priority they knew was going to go to the GPP.
Well, they got to be careful because AMD being alive is actually a good thing for Nvidia from just the sheer point of not being a monopoly. Think about what would happen if AMD just folded tomorrow.
Yeah.
Nvidia would literally be standing alone in a massive industry. And that would instantly label them as a monopoly, meaning any company that came online to try to compete with them would get all kinds of special disc compensation from the government and everything like that to basically bring them up to speed while putting huge restrictions on Nvidia so that they can catch up. Same shit happened to Microsoft.
I talk about a lot of this in next Wednesday's video.
Okay.
And that's scheduled to go live next Wednesday. I talk directly about this topic, some rumor slash what's the word I'm looking for? What did I call it earlier? It's a speculatory piece on what I think is going to happen. And I rarely do these, but I feel like there's enough information in the past to determine what's going to happen in the future. And if you guys are curious about my thoughts on the future of graphics cards and the industry, then I talk about that on Wednesday, so don't miss that video.
And just so you guys know, my video will be out on Tuesday. Same topic. No, I'm just kidding. Who am I kidding? I'm not going to put anything on Tuesday. Let's just compare the views. You're such a dick. How can a guy with such a small one be such a big dick? I don't get it. It's like it just doesn't even add up. I went there. It was a tiny dick joke, Jay.
Oh.
I'll say you got a tiny dick.
I just heard big dick, and I didn't know.
You just heard that you heard that, and you're like, oh, memories.
Ladies.
All right, so Nvidia really fucked up. But do you think the PR backlash from this is going to hurt them long term at all, or do you think it's just everybody's just going to forgive them and move on?
You know what? Here's my take on the PCMR. Pitchforks and torches and all that, but then behind closed doors, they're still buying all the same shit they protest against.
Very true, and plus the prices are coming down, which is actually we should segue into that. The prices of the GPUs coming down right now.
Well,
Take it away.
So in that piece I just talked about, I actually do some price comparison with PC Part Picker because they have, of course, a 2-year. You can see a 2-year.
They trend it, right?
Yes, you can see a 2-year pricing trend, and you can see that the price of like the EVGA Black Edition 1080 Ti.
Okay.
I don't know if it's still available right now, but as of when I shot this video a couple of days ago, they were actually in stock at Newegg for $749, which was only about $40 above MSRP.
Wow.
Now that was,
so it's coming down fast.
Yeah, but that was also a little bit of a I don't know, it was kind of like a one-off because it was like an outlier, whatever.
Oh, everything else wasn't following that same trend?
Most of the other brands were still in like the 900s. But if you look at where we were last summer, they were $1,500, even the ones that are 900 today.
Yeah.
So what I found is right now the 1060s and the 1050s and stuff like that, 1050 Ti you can get for just about MSRP. Because there's no
because they're not good mining cards.
Right. But the reason why they went up in price was because this show's really gone off the rails, so much tech being talked about. You can't win, Jerry.
We really apologize for all the tech talk tonight on Tech Talk.
We can't win. I'm sorry, I've been in work mode this week, so I'm all like tech on the brain, tech.
I forgot what that's like.
But what happened was because people couldn't buy the really good cards, they just bought whatever they could get their hands on in the meantime, which put a supply chain issue on the 1050s and 1060s and all that stuff. So they went up in price a lot.
Yeah.
The 1060 was about 30-ish% over launch price, but it did seem to go up more than that as you went up the chain because, again, that hash rate, performance. But it's coming down.
It is because usually when Bitcoin crashes, and Ethereum basically and Bitcoin chase each other, right? I mean, both markets are affected by each other because a lot of people transact the currency between the two.
Right.
They really haven't rebounded. They haven't gone down much anymore, but they haven't really rebounded from the last crash. And now that we know that ASICs are coming out, we know this to be fact, that ASICs are coming out for Ethereum. I think the pressure is just going to come off of GPUs, and long term, people are going to stop. The miners are going to slow down and stop buying them. That's going to just bring the demand way, way down, and the price is going to come along with it. Because I don't think the gamers are going to come in. Even if every gamer in the world wants to buy a new GPU, they're not going to compete with the miners that are buying hundreds of thousands of these cards for big mines.
Right.
So I really do think that we're going to see the price start to slowly come down, and then just overnight, it's just going to tank down to MSRP or maybe even dip under it. For a short period of time if they're not moving a lot of product.
Well, a lot of people are afraid of what's going to happen with next generation Nvidia cards because everyone knows there's going to be a bump in performance across the board. Otherwise, what's the point of a new family of graphics card?
And it's been really dramatic in the past too, right? So I mean, the expectation should be
it's consistently between 20 and 25% improvement. I've done videos on that.
That's a lot, though. I mean, like when you think about it, how much sheer performance is there?
It is, but it's artificially being controlled. Nvidia won't allow it to go farther than that. Jensen himself 2 years ago at the keynote for the Tesla P100 when it launched. Their very first HBM card was for enterprise solution. They built that, the servers and all that stuff out of them. They didn't even go to mainstream availability. They use NVLink and all that stuff. He said in that keynote right then and there, he's like, and you got to give him at least credit for being this transparent. He basically was like, he's like, we could have jumped 5 years ahead. He's like, we've gone so far with what we've been able to squeeze out of HBM. And this is still technically their HBM1 tech, like during this keynote. He goes, we could have jumped 5 years ahead. But he actually talked about investors and, excuse me, I just threw up a little in my mouth talking about Jensen. No, I'm just kidding. He's talking about investors and market research. They spent like $1 billion developing the HBM technology that they're using. He's like, we could have jumped 5 years ahead and made this huge leap in graphics technology. But he's all to appease investors and costing and all that stuff. They chose to take the annual incremental 20-25% improvement in terms of like what you can expect to see in GPU, desktop GPU performance and stuff. Yeah. But he basically was like, we have developed 5 years ahead. He's like, but we are releasing it in bits. So they're doing
CPU manufacturers do the same thing, though. Intel is notoriously known.
But Intel's never actually come out and said they did it.
True. But I personally know that because I've worked with their SDVs, their software development vehicles, 2 years before they were released to the public. I mean, I had a 32 core CPU, and one of the SDV server boxes that we had that I was testing when, like, I think the most that they had was 8 cores on a public CPU at the time, or just eight cores was like the max they had in the public, and I had like a 32 core processor.
Uh-huh.
And now you can get those. Like, I mean, it's literally years and years before it actually went public. We were already doing the software testing and the confirmation on it with the kernel. So maybe they're not publicly saying it, but it does make sense to only roll out technology just to edge out the competition just a little bit, because then you have that many more releases that are almost free to you.
Yeah.
Right? If you just jumped ahead and everybody had the super fast graphics card, that would either knock your competitor out, which now you're basically setting the market at that point, right? You can do whatever you want. Or if the competitor then decides, oh crap, we got to punch a lot of money at this and catch up, and they catch up really quick and they outdo you, you've got nothing to run to.
Yeah. No, but that's kind of what happened with Ryzen and Coffee Lake. So I did a
right. They upped the schedule, right? Because that came out like right after that. I remember that.
I did a video in June or July. It was after Computex. X299 launched ahead of time. X299 was launched at Computex when it was supposed to be out in like August, September timeframe. They pulled it in. In that video, I basically stated Coffee Lake is going to come in too. I said Coffee Lake is going to pull into 2017. So many people took an opportunity to like link me articles and link me all these things saying, no, Jay, look, Coffee Lake isn't coming till spring of 2018. And I basically was like, guys, the writing's on the wall. They're going to pull it in. They are starting to lose. AMD's starting to regain market share. I hate using the term lose market share because Intel definitely was losing market share, but they still were the dominant market share holder, right? So when you say lose market share, it makes it sound like you've lost the dominant stakeholder.
Right, but you need to retain that brand loyalty too. If somebody moves to the faster AMD product, then they're going to start making at least a percentage of those are going to make the assumption that AMD is now the better processor moving forward, and it's going to be an uphill battle for Intel to get it back.
It's important to word it. AMD was gaining back market share. There's a very big difference there in terms of like investment speak. But anyway, so when we got the emails about Coffee Lake like a month before the launch, of course, I just wanted to give the biggest middle finger and told you so to all the people calling me out saying I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about.
Sounds like Jay.
You know me, right? But I took the high road. Let's change gears real quick. We're gonna get off tech for a second here.
Let's do it.
I just had an idea for a fun little segment here. So Fulbright Gaming says Barnacles. He said Barnacles. He's put your name on. He says Barnacles. You should go play at Jay's shop to get back into work to know what it's like to work tech again. Wow.
I don't think my STI would make the commute.
It won't. But I think he might want to go back to first grade grammar. But anyway,
grammar.
What I think we should do right now. I think we should have a job interview.
Let's do it.
So, hello, Mr. Berg. My name is Mr. 2 Cents.
Well, hello, Mr. 2 Cents.
I wasn't done talking. Already, you're the kind of person that interrupts your boss. Okay, good to know. Making a note. Making a note here.
Collect myself. Don't hit him. Okay, what now?
So, why don't you tell me? Sorry, I can already see where this is going to go in my head.
Okay, composure.
Well, okay. Why don't you give me an example of a very stressful project that you've worked on and how you overcame the stress to meet the success of the project?
All right. Well, you may not know this because I didn't put it on my resume out of sheer embarrassment, but I used to work for a company called Microsoft. You might have heard of it, right? So
do they make hardware?
They make a lot of things, really.
Okay.
I'm not really specific on anything outside of the software. I think they make mice and keyboards, or at least relabel other people's stuff. But one of my most probably stressful projects I ever worked on when I was there was a little thing called Windows Vista. Did you ever hear about that? Do you know what Windows Vista is? I
do, actually. We still use it here in the office. We consider it to be the superior OS.
Okay, all right. So I can see I'm going down a bad path here. So Windows Vista was actually one of the hardest projects that I worked on because we kept resetting things over and over and over again and having to retest things over and over and over again. And after all that hard work, we still shipped a product that I was not proud of. But they didn't listen to me when I told them to hold it back. They were like, nope, fuck that one employee in this 120-some-odd thousand people company.
Forgive me for interrupting you, but what product is that you were proud of that got shipped?
This was, no, not proud of. Vista.
Oh.
It was Vista.
Oh.
Windows Vista. You remember Windows Vista? It was a shitty operating system, at least at first. They patched the hell out of it, and then it was just a resource hog after that. But
was that before or after the excellent Windows ME?
Well, actually, yeah. a lot of people don't know this, but the Windows 9 X operating systems were the magnum opus of Microsoft. Like, it was purely political that they got shut down. Like, they should have been the dominant operating system.
Berg takes opium. Okay. That's what you said, right? It's the opium product?
You're probably looking at my dilated eyes. But yeah, opium's good. I like opium.
Okay.
It's pretty decent
good
stuff.
To know.
No, we all took it at Microsoft while we were developing the software.
Okay.
Says a lot. Says a lot about the product.
Short stories long. Okay.
Shit, I think
let's see here. What? So we pride ourselves on punctuality here. Like, we've got a pretty set schedule. We don't have the luxury at JayzTwoCents of the YouTubers that just kind of come in whenever they want and leave whenever they want and don't have extracurricular activities, lives, families. We have those here at JayzTwoCents. So
really, okay.
We start promptly at 9 a.m. I'm sorry, what was that?
That might be a little bit of a problem. That might be a little bit of a problem because usually I'm just going to bed around then. So
do you? Okay.
I think I can change. I think I can change. You know, it just might take a day or two, but I think I can change. I'll do it for you because I think you got a good company here.
Okay.
I can clearly see by how modernized your studio is and how professional looking it is that you guys are on a serious ship here.
Well, that's all just green screen. So we image is a big thing here. Speaking of image, we do require business casual dress attire.
What, like this? Pajama pants and a t-shirt? I mean, that's what I do for my business. It's actually written into the contract for my corporation.
That's probably going to be a problem. But do you have any solid print pants?
I do. I mean, do jeans count? I mean, it's kind of solid unless you get up really close. I got one pair of jeans that still kind of fits me.
Stonewashed or light colored jeans.
They would be a light color. You know, so
I mean that screams 1990s. So I'm not
maybe a little bit.
See, okay, let me tell you a little bit about us.
Okay, let's hear about it.
So we're the older people of YouTube. What I mean by that is a lot of YouTube channels today are being run by young people, and by young people I mean they're under 30. And,
I can tell by your gray hair you are of advanced years.
No, this is experience, not necessarily age indicative. This is experience indicative. That's how you get the level of gray. The gray is actually my prestige, but that's besides the point.
Noted.
We have to remember that we are the older people that are addressing the. Oh, I don't like to use the M word, but we're talking to millennials mostly. And it's difficult.
Wait. What are millennials?
They're kind of the generation that everyone's worried about in about 10 more years. But I think if we actually work really hard here, we can actually change the course of the future. So that's kind of what I'm working towards right here. Because I mean, I'm probably not going to live long enough to actually see the destruction that could come about. But I'm a little bit concerned of the next generation. So we have to remember that when we're dealing with this type of audience. They're fickle. They will unsubscribe at the drop of a hat. You say one word they don't like, and that unsubscribe button becomes their best friend. So why don't you tell me what direction you would take the channel if you were to be maybe an additional host or personality here on JayzTwoCents?
Okay. I think I've got something to offer in this department because I think that you guys are missing a huge opportunity in regards to where you can actually shoot videos and utilize your space in the studio. Like, I didn't see a single camera in the bathroom, Mr. 2 Cents. Not a single one.
Well, let me stop right there. We have one, but it's not easy to find. So
I can't believe you went there. Oh my god. Oh god, you just broke me right out of character right there. I think I could actually bring a lot to your company though, because I feel like you kind of sold out and stopped being a fat person. I mean, well, you're still a fat person. You know what I mean?
Fat,
like a morbidly obese person.
Now let me stop you right there, Mr. Berg.
Wait, what?
Mr.
Okay.
Berg.
All right,
my
Mr. T.
fat is an investment into my health. Okay. Do you understand where I'm going with this?
Like you will out-survive the skinny people?
Do you know how tired people get when they punch like an underinflated or underfilled punching bag? Like when your hand just gets like stuck, right?
I was in grade school, Jay. I know. I got punched a lot.
Right.
There's a lot of exhausted
right. When you're
around
standing there eating a jelly-filled donut and it's dripping on your stomach and they're just like going away like it's a speed bag, they get tired before you feel the pain.
They do.
The average density of fat, and I just threw my pen. Yes, I was actually taking notes, Jerry. The
I can't tell because you're too lazy to hook up a second camera.
You could have just looked at the stream. I'm actually
it's like delayed by like 15 minutes.
The sad part is I'm actually taking notes on the back of my payment stubs for my car.
Aren't they going to feel a little weird when they get this and they flip it over and it's like, okay, fat Windows me? Like, what?
No, it's Windows U. Anyway.
Windows U.
No, I make my payments online, but I digress. So the density of fat, do you know how that could stop a bullet, dude?
I've heard.
That stops bullets. I saw an episode of Cops once where this really big guy was shot like 6 times, and he was just like, I don't need to go to no hospital. I'm fine. There was like a trickle of blood.
I think I've seen the same video. Like, doesn't the guy come out on like his porch and they just like open fire on him and he just keeps coming at him? Like, what?
No, this one was like a gang shooting. And
okay.
He had survived it. And he was just like, I don't need to go to the hospital. He had like bullet holes all over his belly. But anyway, the other thing is you need to come at me with at least a 9-inch blade to hit an organ.
Pretty much.
Okay. So, yeah.
I mean, I've fallen on bat knife several times, and it hasn't done any damage beyond a Band-Aid. So, I mean, you know.
Okay, so I derailed you with the bathroom camera. Okay, so you would want to turn this into a voyeur experience, I'm assuming.
No. I just think that it's a good set. Like when you're sitting on the shitter, you're in a relatively good position, you know. And I'm an expert on this. I've done quite a few videos both on Instagram and the Twitter platforms.
Okay.
From the throne, and I also find that it's a good way to relieve pressure. You know, so a lot of people get really nervous, you know, in front of the camera. But I find that when I'm taking a huge, massive shit.
Unless you're Elvis.
That's true. Unless you're Elvis.
I mean, we
don't want to die on the toilet. I don't want to go down that direction. Let's not die on the toilet. Although that would get massive.
I've seen some of your poop nap pictures. It looks like you're one squeeze away from an aneurysm.
Well, that's actually good acting, is what that is, Jay.
I wouldn't go as far as to say good, but I would definitely say it's acting.
Well, you know, I try. Okay. I really try. And I feel like I make a connection with people when I do any kind of a review from the toilet, because they're like, this guy must really like this technology because he's not even waiting to get off the shitter to share it with us.
Okay,
and I think that that's a good angle.
Now, the bathroom's a little tight to film like a full build video in there. So
Okay,
I took notes. More bathroom cameras. Got it. The one tiny hidden peephole camera is not good enough. Got it.
Yeah. Pinhole, battery powered. Yeah, you got it.
And I don't have to go to the neighbors to look in. It's cool. So
yeah.
Anyway, moving forward, what would you do in the main set?
Well, I think on the main set, what I would do to really, really enhance the experience is take my shirt off for at least 50% of the production.
Okay.
Because I feel like we're missing out on the entire French-Canadian demographic by me keeping my shirt on.
Okay. Fair enough. The thing is, the audience really likes to throw around the O word a lot. How do you plan on dealing with the O word?
Oh, the O word? Like out of food? Oh, wait, what?
Out of food.
Obese? Is it obesity?
No, I'm talking about the O word, the O word. People seem to think that their version of the O word is more important than anyone else's O.
Oh shit, you're talking about, dare I say it, opinions?
Yeah, okay, we weren't going to say it. God.
Oh shit.
The word that shall not be named. The word.
Oh, we just got reported by at least 40 people in chat. Right. Damn it. Well, what I would do about the O word.
All right, we're going to break character for 1 second. 1 second.
All right, what's up?
I saw a comment that go by that says, wow, cringe fest. And again, it's like Prathik Mukola. Well, how come the people that are the saltiest all have foreign names? Can anyone?
They don't understand English, so it's weird to them. All they see is, you know, and it's weird to them.
I'm just wondering why every time someone's got the saltiest comment, it's some like freaking Bangladesh or something. I don't get it.
It's like, Admiral Akbar FBI scam.
Okay.
Yeah, I see it.
Anyway, that asshole just scrolled away, so that's fine. Okay, back to character.
All right, well, the way that I would take care of the O word, Jay, is by making sure that I use every possible synonym of the O word to intentionally avoid the O word, while still establishing my dominance and using the O word.
Here's the problem, though.
Okay.
When your O word doesn't align with their O word, they become O-worded.
This is true. This is true. This is a tough one to solve.
This is a slippery slope, and this is what people don't understand about running a business like we do, is that there are 1.5 million landmines in front of me.
Yes.
And trying to navigate all of those. So I guess I'm curious as to whether or not this is the type of pressure you think you could actually handle.
Well, seeing as my past experience of laying in bed and watching Netflix and not making any content for my nearly million sub YouTube channel for nearly a month, I think more than qualifies me for being a reliable person that can deal with the stresses of the internet.
So would you not agree? You're telling me you're consistent and mentally stable.
Very,
All right.
very consistent. Some might even say I'm a genius on some levels. I don't want to use the G word because Apple's going to sue me if I do.
Jerry Berg, character, embellish, exaggerate.
Okay, those are good words. I've used those a lot.
Non-truthful.
Okay, yeah, that's a liar.
Doesn't wear pants. Okay.
Fair enough.
Well, you know what? I think this has been very enlightening. And don't call us. We'll call you, and we will keep your resume on file. Why do you look so disappointed?
Well, I've heard that before.
Was it the call part? Because nobody calls anymore, right?
It was. Nobody ever calls me except for these damn scammers.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, here, you know what? I got a beef here. You know, just today.
Mr. Cringy went by again and commented that he was from India. Really? I had no fucking clue you were from India.
I didn't know. Okay, I'm going to be honest here, and I'm going to try to use my honest face. Okay, I'm going to be honest here. I had
Shouldn't you be out riding a moped somewhere right now? I mean,
no. What are they called? The rickshaw.
Is that really what they call it?
Yeah, I think the rickshaw, the little 3-wheeled vehicles that fit like 27 people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think they're called rickshaws. I don't know.
Take a ride in the wooden bus on the side of the Himalayas.
Exactly. Look at these calls I get.
Expired. After that, you will be taken under custody by the local police, as there are 4 serious allegations pressed on your name at this moment.
I get these all the time.
We would request you to get back to us so that we can discuss about this case before taking any legal action against you.
I love how
the number to reach us is.
Yes, it's obviously a scam attempt. I love how there's no mention of your name, and the English is like so broken.
It did change though. The message did change. The last message was you will be taken into custody if you don't call us back. This one's like this is like your final notice.
Oh,
like they did alter it slightly to reiterate that it was a second follow-up call and that I really need to get off my ass and send them Walmart gift cards.
Okay, well, I forget the guy's name already who triggered this whole like fake interview, but I hope you enjoyed that. You inspired this.
Well done,
Jerry
sir.
and I already know very well that if he was local, I could not be his boss ever.
No way. No way. For all the reasons that Jay and I are friends are all the reasons why we could never officially work together in any kind of alpha versus beta kind of arrangement. Yeah. It would not work.
To be fair though, I don't really run this place like an alpha anymore. That's why we got Brian. Brian handles all of the inner communication, interpersonal communications.
Wait, you don't just scream bloody murder at Brian and tell him to leave?
Brian?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Or not Brian. Sorry,
Phil.
your editor.
Phil.
Phil? Is it Phil?
Yeah. I yell at him,
Dr.
but it's all
Phil?
joking, and he yells back at me, and I get sad.
The thing is, I like doing like collaborations and stuff with you, but yeah, it would never work if you were my boss because you'd be like, I need this now, and I would just be like,
Now I know why you're why you were on that automated chopping block.
It is true. They were paying me for. I can admit that. You know what? I'm going to be the better man and admit that Microsoft, even though an algorithm laid me off, I did make way more money than I should have for what I did.
Fair enough.
I will come out and say that because they were paying me an insane amount of money. For what I did.
I will also go out there and admit that they were paying you way more money than they should have.
I knew that was coming.
No,
Hey,
I think any professional YouTuber, short of maybe Linus takes such a corporate approach to his the way he works. I think pretty much all of us are overpaid. If you want to know the truth.
Yeah, I think you know where I mean, honestly speaking, now, not just fucking around. I think where I really went wrong was everybody else kind of changed with the YouTube industry, like took it seriously, the professionalism of it, like went where the money was, did the right things to grow and establish themselves, and I think I just held on to the hobby aspect of it. Yeah, and I think that's ultimately what kind of doomed me, and then ultimately sent me down a path where I started taking shit too seriously because it's like I didn't treat it like a job. I treated it like here's a bunch of people that I just want to have fun with.
I think it's hard to maintain it as a hobby though, because what happens is you grow an audience, and the brands all come at you, and then they start dangling carrots, and then you're like, I'm just gonna take a nibble of this carrot. And you're like, oh, yeah, that's a fat carrot. But I mean, to be honest, and to be 100% transparent, we leave so much money on the table here because one, we don't have the bandwidth to take all the work. Two, there's lots of brands that want to work with me that I'm not willing to work with. Like everyone knows, I work with NordVPN. You know, Tunnel Bear hit us up, and I was like, nope, sorry, we work with Nord. And there was a conversation like sort of semi taking place of like, well, if you want to change it up, blah blah blah, and it's like, No, this is the way I'm doing it. So as much as people want to bitch and be like, Jay, you make too much money, which is kind of bullshit. I've got 2 weddings and 2 college educations that I've got to pay for in the next, what seems like 15 years is not that long away.
Well, I could teach you how my parents raised me, where you don't have to do
No.
We're
good. We're good. We're good. We're good.
I mean, they basically fed me. And obviously they fed me, but it's like beyond that, I think it was just like, all right, see ya.
Does Thermalfake want to work with you? They did reach out to me several times since my whole issue with Thermaltake, and of course I told them like, no, absolutely not. I mean, yeah. So
I haven't done a sponsorship in over, I think it's been close to 2 years since I actively did anything with a company other than them just sending me something to either review or not review.
Here's the thing, though. I try and be as transparent as possible. I mean, I'm not hiding anything from anyone. And I think a lot of my diehard, like my core following, knows like that I'm not. I don't just there's people. No matter what, people are going to accuse you of selling out and shilling. But I think my core audience knows that I have standards that I maintain with boundaries within.
If you didn't have standards, you would be rich as shit, and you would be 3 times your size.
That's true. Because
that's a true statement.
I've had a lot of people approach me about exclusives and stuff. Like, we want you to exclusively use our product or this, and it's like, no, hell no, I don't do that because, especially when it comes to like main hardware and stuff. And I've got my brands that I'm really personally loyal to. Like, I really like Sanctum and the cable sleeving and stuff. And Joe and I have become good friends. But he does more larger scale stuff with like Intel and stuff like that, where I've decided to team up with Cable Mod to do my cables because they have just been so accommodating to me. They can get them done quickly, and they're like, anything you need, let us know, you've got it. So I'm loyal to them, and like, yes, I'm going to use Cable Mod cables in my builds and stuff because they have been good to me. So we created this relationship before there was ever the like, hey Jay, we never met you, we want to throw a bunch of money at you and have you use only our stuff. That's like the way streamers operate. No offense to any stream or you.
No, fair enough.
I think it's one of the reasons why people like Ninja. If you don't know who Ninja is, he's like the largest Twitch streamer now, I believe, right? Like,
yeah, I know who he is.
Was talking with a brand that's working with him, and here's the thing: this is the kind of guy Ninja is, and this is why he's growing like he is. He was doing like a meetup thing in Vegas or whatever. Like, he was doing like some esports thing, and I mean, he's the same guy that streamed with Drake, right? So it's like, this guy is freaking massive. Basically, the brand that was there sponsoring him was like, hey, can we have our meeting? And he's like, yeah, give me like 30 minutes. He didn't come to the meeting for over 2 hours because he refused to leave the meet and greet until he had met everyone.
That's awesome.
That tells you a lot about a person like that. That's huge. And I hope his head on his shoulders stays like that, because the thing is, the more you get fame and the more you get money and stuff, people do change. I mean, as much as I try and be the same person I was in day one, we've all changed in some way.
It's true.
And so, I mean, I have huge respect for a guy like that. But my point is, hopefully my core audience knows that, guys, you are streaming now, just saying. What?
That's a good point. No, because you're just saying streamers. That's how streamers work.
I'm talking about the streaming platform.
Yeah.
Okay, like Twitch and stuff like that. Like, I could never do live stream as a living. That I feel like that requires more dedication and mindset than making recorded content. But that's not my point. I'm trying to.
It's way different. It's definitely different.
My core audience knows that I'm not going to just take whatever money comes my way. And I wish,
you're not going to promote something you don't believe in, because I just know that you won't do that.
I wish I could share with you guys the amount of money we leave on the table, but obviously that's all non-disclosed corporate information, company information. But
luckily for them, I can disclose what I left on the table. I actually got an offer just not this year, but last year. From I won't say who it is, but out of respect, because they are a good company. But I've had 3D printing companies offer me a 6-figure a year salary for exclusively using their printers and working with them directly on projects and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I also received another close to 6-figure request from a company that makes a certain energy drink that I refused them too, because 1, I just don't use it, and 2, I don't believe what they're advertising. I don't like the way they advertise. I don't like how they engage the public and how they handle PR. So there's just certain things that I won't cave on, right? That I've told myself that like no amount of money is going to make me cave on this. But I'd be lying if I told you that I feel confident in those decisions today, knowing that I'm hemorrhaging income and everything like that, and I'm not getting things done. And I'm not doing what I want to do.
Right.
So It's absolutely something that you have to balance with yourself. And I mean, we're being very real with you guys right now. I mean, this is to make a living online. You cannot just get on and say, I'm going to do exactly what I want to do 100% of the time and treat this like a hobby and come and go as I please and expect it to be hugely successful. The people that it even appears that that's what's happening, that is absolutely not what's happening.
Yeah.
Even the vloggers, I've been to Vlogger Fair. I know a lot of the family vloggers and everything. None of them are, let's just wake up in the morning and turn on a camera and have a good time. No, it is very, very premeditated. It is very planned out.
Because you have to show your best side.
You do. You have to. It'd be so boring if you just woke up and you're like, I'm going to lay in bed and eat some cereal and watch a show for an hour and then I'll get up and go wash the car. It's like, no, you have to wake up and be like, what would be exciting? And that I can edit down to 10 minutes or 20 minutes or however long you want to run.
It's like the people that comment on the vlogs that I do about struggling with weight gain and all that and depression and all that stuff. I haven't really had depression problems in the last several years. I've been pretty mentally healthy there, but a lot of people were like, damn, you're the man talking about this stuff. And, it takes a lot of guts to put that out. And the thing is, I don't really feel like it does. Maybe I'm sociopathic in just the sense that I kind of have no filter and I've always just put it out there. And it's just the way I am. But so Coalition Gaming commented and said, Ninja also got super salty and upset that he read a donation from Fractal Josh hyping Bitwit. Ninja accidentally read it out loud and said that he shouldn't have read that channel name out loud. I can see both sides of that.
Was that just because he wanted to get paid more for it, or was it because he actually doesn't ever endorse anybody, or it was a competing company?
I don't think he wants to be seen as some sort of an exposure platform.
Got it.
I know I don't. I know I don't. I didn't work my ass off to build this audience just to have someone come in and like self-promote. But in this case, Josh wasn't self-promoting. I haven't seen the comment, but I have to assume he was probably talking about Man vs. Build. Because that's like the collaboration between Josh and Bitwit. Like Josh wouldn't just be going around going, check out Bitwit. He's probably like, hey, you want to see some exotic cars and PC building? Check out this. I guarantee Josh wasn't spending money to promote Kyle. I could guarantee Josh wasn't spending. But I could see where Ninja would get salty in that, like, because the moment that name is mentioned, it's like if he's got 150,000 people watching, how many of them just went and looked up that channel? And did he just boast a competitor? See, the other thing is like, I don't look at this channel as a competitive being. I'm not competing with Kyle. I'm not competing with Paul. Definitely not competing with Linus. I'm not competing with people in the same genre. I truly subscribe to the mindset that a rising tide raises all ships. And having more people in the space watching in a whole brings more viewers my way as well. And
you're highly collaborative. Like, nobody can argue that you haven't collaborated with a lot of people.
I love collaborating. Now,
yeah, and arguably a lot of those people that you collaborated with were a lot smaller than you are, arguably.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that I'm not throwing you out there like you're going to go and collaborate with brand new channels that just started and stuff like that. There has to be a mutual benefit. But I'm just saying that I think that your actions speak alongside your words. Because if you were just a loner, you would just be a loner and you would just suck it all up and you would compete with everybody, but you don't.
I appreciate that. Where that mindset of mine stems from is when I had 14,000 subscribers. I just hit like 14,000 subscribers, which was not quite a year in on the channel. I remember commenting once on Linus's WAN show. I don't think it was called WAN show at the time. It was something else. It was just the live show is what I think he called it. And I made I asked him once, I said, hey man, I've been doing this for, I don't think it was like 8 months now. I was like 8 months and I've just hit 14,000 subscribers. Is there any advice you'd give to somebody? Like, if you could go back and give advice to your early self, what would it be?
Oh, boy. If I had to go back and give myself advice, like back at that level, like when I was just in my stride and 1,000 subscribers was something that was like, oh, my God, what happened? Jumping around and everything. The advice that I'd probably give to myself is, I hate to say it, but almost just like lower your expectations.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Is what I would give myself, because once I started really growing fast, it almost became kind of an addiction to see that. It was almost a self-serving addiction that it's like, oh man, these numbers are going up. It's like a video game, right? It's like I'm getting to the next level. I'm getting next thing. People are other YouTubers are talking to me that didn't want to talk to me before because I put in the time and effort to show them that, I can roll. I can play in this territory. But at the same time, I mean, there's a lot of luck involved in this too. There's a lot of meeting the right people at the right time. There's a lot of just hitting on the right topic. Like a lot of the stuff that went viral was stuff I never thought would go viral that did the most, like, building of my brand and channel out of anything. So I guess what I give myself back then is I would say, like, don't get so big for your britches. Like even you and I have kind of gone back and forth a little bit as we've grown and have been competitive to a certain degree back in the day, right? When we were growing, it's like we were kind of edging each other out, and I was giving you a little shit and you were giving me a little shit, and we were going and going and going. But it's like eventually you get to a point where you start to realize that the bigger you get, the more exaggerated the noise gets. And the anger and that stuff starts pulling you in. And that stuff I didn't even think about when I was small. I thought, oh my God, if I get 1 million subscribers, it's going to be the most awesome thing ever. I'm going to be doing everything I want. I'm going to be going and buying Gulf streams and flying around the world and having a good old time. And it's like, yeah, that's simply not true.
Well, not to mention a million subscribers today is not like 5 years ago when we were first starting. But
true, but back when we were starting, yeah, it's like there was a time, guys, where 1 million subs would make you a very wealthy person. But not anymore.
What Linus's answer to me was, and this is what I still carry with me to this day, was he said that he would go back and do more collaborations. That he wished he had made a bigger effort to collaborate with other people in the same space. And so I've always just followed that. I mean, I fling Linus shit here and there. Linus and I are actually we are very well connected in terms of we think very, very much the same. The more time I got to spend with him, talking with him, having lunch and dinner with him, and even just hanging out with him and his wife, we realized like we've got a lot in common in the way we handle ourselves. So I'm going to be at Linus Tech Expo in July. I hope people here watching are going to be there and come up, say hi, meet me. But I couldn't not support him. He asked if I wanted to come and just attend. He's like, I can't pay you or anything, but I'd just love to have you there if you want to come hang out. It wasn't like, Jay, can you come and promote this? It was, do you want to come hang out with us? And I was like, absolutely. I couldn't not support him, regardless of what your feelings on Linus are. He legitimately...
Oh, actually, I like Linus personally. Well, I always have.
I don't mean you, I mean the audience.
Oh, okay.
He legitimately paved a way that allowed me to give my family a quality of life that I could not have otherwise done. Now, that doesn't mean Linus did it for me, but it means he did at least forge a path that allowed me to kind of sort of follow in the idea of how this could work, which then allowed me to kind of adapt it and do it my own way, and everything's been good. But to kind of grow on what you had said, you can't be a really small channel, and of course everyone's idea of really small is going to be different, right? The guy with 500 subs is going to feel like 5 is really small, but the guy with 500,000 subs is going to feel 5,000 small. Whereas the guy with 500 thinks 5,000 is like, oh my God, my life is a dream, right?
Pretty much.
And I've done this in the past. Is I've collaborated with a really small channel a couple of different times, and it was the same every time. And what I mean by that is, it was, hey Jay, what do you want to do next time? When do you want to do another one? When do you want to? It like turned into this whole like this expectation of we were going to do it all the time. And because
did they get angry when you didn't want to?
Oh yeah, suddenly I'm too big for them. You know what I mean? Suddenly I'm too popular for them, and I can't hang out with them anymore. And it's like that's not even what this is. It literally, the idea of collaborating with a really small channel as a big channel it's one of two things, and I don't think it's any different than this. One, you really freaking like the person. So you just want to legitimately and genuinely help them out and think that they're great. Or two, it's a charity. You are literally going to do the collaboration to help bring them some subs and then move on and never talk again, right? You just were helping them out. The problem is either way is kind of, number two is definitely a bit disrespectful. I don't think it's respectful to just jump in on someone's channel and do a collab to like, here's some residual subs of mine, you can have them and off you go and never talk again. Because then that person's left wondering like, what did I do to piss off Jay? You know what I mean?
Right.
And then there's the legitimate, we like you, we want to work with you. Kind of like when you were working with Linus and doing the collabs, you know?
Yeah.
So
and Linus gave me a lot of good information back. It's my fault that I didn't take it. He early on, we DM'd a lot.
Yeah.
About stuff. He watched my videos actively. He told me what I was doing wrong, what I could change, editing stuff. I mean, he gave me a lot of information. And quite frankly, where you took it, I didn't.
Yeah.
And, here we are.
High Voltage 12V says, look at Simone now. She's huge thanks to your show. And unfortunately, if you guys haven't heard, she does have a brain tumor that needs to be operated on later this month. So we definitely wish her the best of health and luck.
Send her some love, guys.
She did not get her start on this show. And let me clarify that. She was already doing something that caught the attention of Jerry and me. And our show may have put a little bit of wind in her sail. But where she went from there was 100% her. This is why I hate this concept of, Jay, you'd be nobody without your audience. That is 100% true, but it's a two-way street. I'd be nowhere without my audience, but my audience wouldn't be here watching if I wasn't putting in the work to give you something worth watching. So
Right.
it's a two-way street. Yes, the audience allows me a means to continue this perpetual cycle. Both needs the other to survive. There are people out there that believe that the viewer holds all the power, and that's not true, because if I was out here making shit content, the viewers won't stick around. It's a two-way back scratch. So I hope that makes sense. I hate that.
No, it does.
I hate that argument of, well, Jay, you are who you are because we're here. It's like, but how did you find me in the first place? I did something you liked and stuck around. So there's definitely a mutual benefit to all of this.
I agree.
We had a couple of other tech topics that I wanted to talk about.
Absolutely.
Didn't you have another one before I move on to mine? Oh,
Yeah,
the
actually,
Windows 10
I've
buzz.
so we're going to save the Google thing for dead last, right?
We can do that, yeah.
Okay, so
we've got 30 more minutes. I need to leave dead at 6:30 because I'm cycling home, and it is getting windy as hell out there, and this is gonna suck.
All right, well then I'll make this really quick. So those of you guys that are that have been kind of niggling over whether you should install the latest Windows April update for Windows 10, just beware. There are quite a few issues that are being reported, especially on Intel platforms, of a lot of lockups, a lot of instability, some boot manager issues. And the one that seems to be universal that I get messaged about the most is the microphone not working. The microphone just suddenly doesn't work anymore, and it doesn't fix it in the mixer. You basically have to go through one of the configuration things, like for voice, configuring voice, to get it to basically reinitialize the microphone, and then everything starts to work again. So there are quite a few issues with it right now. I don't know why Microsoft hasn't recalled it to try to repair those issues and redeploy it. Usually that's what they do. So I'll just leave it at that. Just beware if you guys are installing that. Make sure that you have restore points in place. Make sure that you have a full backup if you can, using like Clonezilla or another utility.
Clonezilla.
And that's Clonezilla. I love Clonezilla, man. Clonezilla is like open source imaging software. You can image to NAS. You can image to DVD media. If you have a burner that's compatible, you can image to USB thumb drives. Pretty much anything, even just other hard drives on the computer or the hard drive you're imaging to itself. I mean, you can do so many different things. It's not very intuitive, though, so I will be doing a tutorial video on it hopefully soon. Mm-hmm. The other thing that I just wanted to just touch on really quick before we go to the Google topic is Apple iOS 11.4 update coming out for those of you guys that have an iPhone. I know there's a lot of you that are Android lovers. Keep in mind, I ride the line. I carry both a Razer phone and an iPhone 7 Plus. So I can appreciate what they both bring to the table. They are implementing a cool new feature. It's called USB restriction mode. That's supposed to help defeat some tools that the government's using for recovering data and stuff off your phones, because it takes some time to get a warrant.
This goes all the way. This goes all the way back to the San Bernardino terrorist shooting.
You know it. So basically, Apple's been trying to. That's true. That's true. Yeah, you could hear it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So basically, what Apple's trying to combat is basically the freedom of privacy, which is kind of strange when you think about it, because there's a lot of places where they violate privacy pretty blatantly themselves. But what they're trying to do is prevent your phone from, if it's confiscated or taken by somebody or the government, to basically limit their options to be able to recover data on that device without your passcode. Well, they've created some devices that can break into the phones, basically using various different methods of breaking the encryption and getting into the device. Well, they're putting a new feature into the next update for the phone that's basically going to put it into a USB restricted mode where it will not communicate through USB if it's left disconnected for 7 days. And the reason that they chose 7 days arbitrarily is due to how long it takes for a government agency to get a warranty to attempt to access the device.
You mean,
and get
not a warranty?
Sorry, warrant. Not a warranty. Get a warranty on it.
Got a government warranty to search this place. Warranty.
That government warranty is better than Apple Care.
Search warranty.
So sorry, warrant. So anyways, by the time that they get a warrant, the idea with the feature being is that by the time they get a warrant, the phone will be in complete lockdown and they won't be able to use any of their methods to basically brute force crack into it.
Yeah.
So kind of a neat feature. There are a lot of like more questions than answers around it as to why did they pick 7 days? Why isn't this going to be configurable? What happens in the situation where you're out like camping or something like that and then the phone gets completely locked up after 7 days? What's the recovery path? There's a lot of questions, but I think it's actually a cool idea in principle that they're trying to solve a hardware problem like this with a simple software change.
Uh-huh.
So we'll see how it works out. But unfortunately, I think it's probably going to end with a bunch of phones getting orphaned and shit. And the Genius Bar is going to have a line 5 miles long. But anyways, it's kind of a cool attempt. All right, go ahead, Jay. What do you got?
Hobbs just said in chat, also federal appeals court just ruled that forensic searches of devices at the border are unconstitutional.
Interesting.
But let's just be fair. Labeling something as unconstitutional doesn't stop it from happening.
Yeah, it just means they're going to do it and not tell anybody. So.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so before we move on to the Google topic, I had one more small one I wanted to talk about.
Sure.
I'm sure we've all seen the breathalyzer, right? It's the
Yep, you have a little too much alcohol.
Sir,
you're
have you had
thing,
anything to drink tonight? I could smell alcohol in your breath. And then it becomes a
Oh.
speaking of search warrant, like that gives them probable cause to do the
It does.
breathalyzer. And you don't have to take the breathalyzer, but if you refuse the breathalyzer in most states, especially California, then they can detain you, arrest you, bring you into the jail, and then a blood tech will come and physically draw blood from your arm.
Correct.
Where they will check for blood alcohol content or BAC. So they have these breathalyzers that you blow into on the side of the road. It could detect the level of alcohol in your system purely by your breath.
We used to use them for fun. I blew a 4.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
right.
dead.
You would do that, and then you get on the simulator, right? Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, there's videos on the internet. Go find them. I'm not going to tell you how.
So apparently, researchers in the U.S. say they've developed a low-cost chip that can detect cocaine in minutes. The team hopes it will lead to a development of portable cocaine breathalyzer that will tell if a person has used the drug. Now, there are places in the country, especially in various large cities in the U.S., that have cocaine epidemics and cocaine problems. Probably Florida, for the most part, would explain all the crazy people in Florida. But
all the shirts. Yeah.
But I digress. One has to wonder if Nvidia could have maybe benefited from the cocaine breathalyzer when they came up with the GPP idea.
Oh, burn. They were all like, oh my God, man, we can get them in partnership. And then they got to do what we want.
But you have a physical ratio of blood to alcohol, alcohol to blood content with BAC, right?
Yeah, in your lungs.
What is the ratio? What is the ratio of you? Yep, you got 4 newtons of cocaine in your blood. I mean,
we've detected that you got at least 1/1,000,000th of 10th of a gram.
Do you like how every time we come up with a scenario, we're Southern? What does that mean?
Yeah, I think we're like closet racist against rednecks. Can you be racist against rednecks?
No.
I think we are. No, I think we're. I think we're. Well, I used to be a redneck. I grew up a redneck.
I've never met a redneck that didn't just accept it.
Actually, or just be proud of it. I remember when I grew up, I was like proud as shit of being a redneck.
You a toothless hillbilly redneck. Damn straight.
You got to go to the dentist? I don't got to go to the dentist for nothing.
Hold on, I can't hear you over the bald eagles.
And then you hear a screech right after that. It's like, oh shit, dude, we're not even in the animal preserve. What?
Speaking of which, we do have a little Patriot montage in a video going up on Monday. It's weird to have all this plugging to do. I've never had this much lead time of videos that are ready to go live because I'm gonna be gone all next week. So trust me when I say the next 2 videos, tomorrow mornings and Monday mornings, you don't want to miss those. Trust me.
I just can't believe you got so many videos queued up. It's making me jealous that I don't have a studio and an editor and somebody to operate cameras where I can just sit there and be like, all right, hand me the next thing.
Yeah, it was definitely
the next thing.
Phil and I definitely worked our ass off. Phil comes in 3 days a week. He's not full time, and we definitely had to leapfrog and tag team. And I shot a video Wednesday just myself, and then we shot one today that's going live on Monday. We shot one Tuesday that's going live Friday. Like the thing, normally, if you see a video go up for me, it was like either shot like within the last 24 hours.
That's usually what I think when I see it because I know what I do.
My camera's like freaking out. This is going to be like the first time. Yeah, there's like all kinds of wavy lines. Apparently, there's a search warrant on my camera. Anyway, search warranty. So this is like the first time that you're going to see a video go up for me, and it's like days and possibly even a week old. Weird, right?
Wow, that is weird.
Oh, and the camera froze.
It's really weird.
There it goes.
Oops.
Stupid Microsoft camera.
Your damn Microsoft camera took our video.
That there Satchacam. Jay, your camera's artifacting. I've been talking about it for like 5 minutes, and you're going to tell me it's artifacting? Like I don't freaking see it.
You know, one thing I want to say before we get off the topic of you having an editor, Phil's editing is so on point in that car video.
And here's
the
thing.
I was so jealous when I saw that. I was like, I wish Cargasm could be like that.
And here's the thing.
That was good.
I hold him back. I don't let him spend the time on the videos that he wants to because we still have not got that luxury of being far enough. See, here's the thing. Yeah, we're a whole week ahead, but next week's going to suck up that buffer period, and we'll be back to square one when I get back.
How long did it take him to edit that video? The car video, the TT estimate.
He did it over time. Like, it wasn't I mean, to give you an idea, that Audi video just went live yesterday.
Yeah.
I had that car April 9th. So do the math, right?
Oh, geez. Okay. So he probably had some decent time invested. I'm just wondering, like, is he one of those guys that can sit down and like bang that out in 2 hours?
No. Phil is meticulous. He's a quick editor. But he definitely OCDs on a lot of the little things. And
it shows. It showed like all the little transitions with like the little like lighting flares and stuff like that. I was like, whoa, this looks like TV like production quality stuff.
You should see some of the stuff he's produced for the other company he works for. They work for clients and they do stuff like major clients like PlayStation and stuff like that. So you should see some of the work that he's done. But we'll get to that point.
Very cool.
I told him, and here's more of that transparency behind the scenes stuff, guys. I told him when he first started here, I was like, you know, your resume, your portfolio, proof that these are the things he worked on. He could have just showed a video and be like, yep, I did it, but he pulled it down off of, KeepVid, right?
Yeah.
I told him, I said, this is an end goal. That's an end game goal for us to work up to. I was like, we can't just start producing this super crazy, like, Jerry, I'll show you a sample later on of what I mean. Like one of his resume videos, I was like, we can't just suddenly start producing that level of content because it's too jarring for the audience to see my usual raw, rough around the edges type of edits and stuff to just suddenly be like super polished, shiny, amazing edits because we have to work up to that point. So,
just to touch on that really quick, that's something that actually did happen on my channel. You remember the drone video that Volaire edited for me, the one where everybody lost their shit in the comments. Everybody's like, this isn't Jerry's video. Somebody else is producing this video, put on. This is a commercial. Yeah. And it literally was shot exactly how I wanted it shot. They just did the editing on it. But it was just so over the top and different.
There's quite a difference between having it in your mind what you want it to look like and being able to do it yourself.
Right.
That's why I hired a professional to do it.
He's good.
Yeah. So, and to be fair, too, in the beginning, there was a lot of people that were commenting, shaky camera, feels shaky. To be fair, I gave him my equipment that was set up for Nick to use, and it was not like something he was used to. It was not like the type of stabilizers and stuff that we have was not something that he liked. So I basically asked him. We sat down one day and I said, Phil, what tools do you need from me? What do I need to buy to make you comfortable? And he's like, buy me this, this, and this. And I did. And since then, we have not had a single complaint about camera movement, camera shake, or camera work.
That's awesome.
So he knows like his craft, and that's important. I know my craft too. The problem is, just like you described, I know in my head what I want it to look like, but I don't have the editing skills to do it. But we've gotten enough synergy now in the 2 months he's been here to be able to spitball an idea with him, and then he'll start to do it, and then we're like, yeah, let's do this, and we'll do that, and we'll sit there together in the edit, and then it will evolve together. Like together, we will get the final. It's not like I just hand him a video and be like, here you go, edit it. Okay, thanks for the file, upload. No, I'm still editor in chief, obviously, on everything.
Right. Otherwise, it wouldn't turn out anything like what you're expecting. It's like let him do the perfect transitions and everything, but there are places where timing is important, the order of operations, what you want to see, what you want to throw away. Yeah. That's stuff that, decisions that he's not going to make that you're going to just be like, oh, that's perfect.
He does the rough cut, right? And then we go back through and do the fine bits of details, and then he sends me the final project. I go through and make my changes, and then we put it live.
It's crazy that you can do that much work and still get that much of a backlog. Like, it clearly shows you're just barely sleeping.
This week, especially, yeah. Wow. Tuesday, I rolled in at like 8 in the morning, and then I got home at 9 at night. I mean, it's a 13-hour day. It's not my longest day. Nick and I put in, we were not, the Threadripper video. Remember when that video went live, the crazy custom build that we did? The one with all the crazy bends and the weird-looking symbiote case that I built?
Yeah.
So that one there, not including the build time, the actual shoot time to do all the B-roll and the editing on that video and put it together, we were here 19 hours straight.
Oh, that's crazy.
We didn't actually go home until like 3 in the morning. So yeah, it was pretty ridiculous.
Shows an end result though.
It does, but then we were like, never again.
you know what you need to do is you need to like go back, like do a throwback and be like, Phil, go remix and re-edit this video like however you want it to be, and then release it as like what do they call it when they like remaster?
Rewind.
Be like episodes remastered or rewind. Like go find your really old content that you did way back in the day, and then just let Phil just totally go to town with like After Effects and shit, and see what it looks like your really old stuff. See what he comes up with. I think that would be amazing. I would watch that literally like once a month if you just said today's throwback from my World of Warcraft funny skit video or whatever from years ago. I'm gonna let Phil edit.
Oh no, we've got skits. We're planning on. We're gonna be doing some skits. We're gonna be giving Kyle a run for his money. Trust me. So
very cool.
We've got some ideas. Cool. Dead Spectre just said Jay on VHS, Jerry on DVD, because of the lines going through my camera look like tracking lines.
It does. I remember the tracking, the little knob. It's like, come on, Top Gun, I want to see you.
Jay, do you keep all of your footage? Right now, we technically don't. We definitely keep the outputted file, but I'm still been just too busy to finally put together that. Well, the rig is together. I have to still do a RAID card for 4 of my drives, but I still have that massive rig that Linus has sponsored that I have to finish putting together. So We got a 10 terabyte drive on his machine, obviously, and then we've got 100 terabytes, I think. 100 terabytes or 80 terabytes on the rig that we built for storing stuff. But it would come in handy because there's things we want to go back and reference over time, right? And be like, hey, remember we did this video? It's nice not to have like an H.264 video dropped in a ProRes timeline. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, Perspective says this is Tech Talk. Yeah, that's just bullshitting. Yeah.
It's hard to keep that stuff. Like me, I don't have probably 5% of the original projects from my videos that I've created.
Yeah.
Most of it is the rendered video because I just don't have the storage for it. Even with 70, I have 70 terabytes of storage between my two NASs. Now, obviously, I use a lot of that for like family photos and storing other stuff. It's not just strictly for the business. But the amount of space that you need to back up, especially with you shooting raw on some stuff.
Yeah.
Like you would, the amount of space that you'd need would be in the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of terabytes to be able to keep everything for a year.
Are you ready for this? We've got the 2 Atomos Shogun Infernos. We use them as monitors. Like we don't even record to them anymore because we found that like dealing with the raw timeline.
Yeah.
It was extra steps that didn't need to happen after YouTube compression. So we have the means to do raw and ProRes level stuff, but in our environment it just wasn't necessary. So we actually paid for a lighting engineer to come in here and create LUTs for our cameras. So now when we shoot with the mixed cameras or even all 3 cameras, we have an A7S II, we have an FS5 and an FS7 Mark II. Obviously those are 3 different cameras, 3 different sensors, 3 different looks with the same settings. So he created all the LUTs. So now if we drag them in our timeline and drop our LUTs on them, they all look matched, which is definitely
that's awesome. That's going to save a lot of time.
Yeah, so definitely, because then color correction is minor rather than dealing with like this massive color correction needs to take place every single time. So yeah. Okay, so we got one last topic to talk about before we get out of here. We got 14 minutes left in the show, and that, Jerry, I'm going to let you take it away. That one being Google Duplex.
Google Duplex is Google's new technology that they just recently demoed, basically showing how an AI with an artificial voice can actually mimic a human being in a full-blown unscripted conversation with another person over the phone. The idea of this technology is to eventually manifest itself as an application on your phone where your personal assistants can proactively do things with other human beings on your behalf. Like, for instance, you want to get a haircut. You could say, okay, Google, schedule me a haircut for 2 p.m. tomorrow.
Pause for a sec.
Oh, go ahead.
Remind me to update everyone about the YouTube Red suggestion you had for me last week.
Oh, will do. So basically the idea here is you say, okay, Google, I want a haircut at 2 p.m. tomorrow. And the digital assistant then calls the place that does the haircut and then has a very natural conversation with them so that they don't feel like they're talking, to a computer, like press 1 for this and press 2 for that, because they just hang up. And it basically emulates a human voice. It's scary how accurate
to the point to where I feel like it was faked.
Yeah, and that's just it. Is it may have been a scripted scenario for the demo, but the ultimate goal in the interaction is very, very fluid. If you were a person on the other end of the phone, at best you might think that the way that they're responding is slightly awkward, but you would never suspect that it was a computer.
Especially when we were listening to it on Google I/O.
Yeah,
we're hearing it through super high fidelity call quality.
Yeah, not through a shitty compressed phone call.
Once you once you put the compression of the phone call into play, I think it would be hard to determine the voice if what we were hearing wasn't just straight up a hoax. And that's the thing; it sounded so convincing that the word hoax comes to mind. Like I just am not convinced that what we saw was truly being handled by AI. I am not convinced.
So let's just, for the benefit of the argument, let's say that their demo is legitimate, okay, at least to some degree. So the idea being here is that your phone would have this app that is your personal assistant that would do things on your behalf. And it speaks in such a natural way that it doesn't just keep repeating the same things over and over again. It actually puts in little airs and little quips into the conversation. Yeah, so it sounds more fluid. Yeah, like ums and little pauses and stuff.
Literally, the rare content that I do script, because I do have a teleprompter, it's rare that I script videos, but sometimes I will for ad reads and stuff. There was a while there where I was doing a perfect example. The crazy 3-way 980 water-cooled gigabyte graphics card monstrosity thing was totally a scripted video because there was so much information I wanted to make sure I got through that I did script that video and actually spent 2 days writing the script, read it out loud, practiced it multiple times, and I found that anytime I had a natural speaking or pause or whatever, I wrote it into the script. So I actually, the script was literally as if it was a transcript of me, something I've already said, rather than me reading something I want to say. So
and you have to, otherwise it comes off disingenuous.
And nobody noticed.
People know how you talk.
Not a single person noticed that video is scripted. I have approximately 20 or 25 videos out of my 1,000 and whatever that are scripted. 100%, every word, every every comma, every cough, scripted. And nobody noticed. I guarantee you guys cannot go find those videos and tell me which ones they are.
Hey, hint, they're the ones where he actually knows a bunch of the tech stuff and nails it.
It's the ones where I don't misspeak.
Yeah, it's the one where he's like, yeah, the Intel quad core processor has like 3.2 micron water cooled muffler bearing interface to the main bus, and it's like, okay,
but see, even then,
yeah.
you can't tell which one's 100% scripted because I will put those prompts, like those specs, up on the prompter, just not rolling.
Okay, so Google Duplex is basically doing the same thing. It's putting quips into the conversation to make you sound more human, and the synthetic voice that it's using also changes in pitch and tone. So if it says yes, or yes please, or yeah that sounds good, or yes, and it keeps doing that through the conversation, it'll continuously change it so that it doesn't sound like it's playing back a soundboard. Now, the scary thing about this is how good it is at doing its job. It's a bot that can basically dupe a human into thinking that they're communicating with a real person, and then ultimately use that data and act on the data that they're getting from the other person.
I'm laughing because Pistol Pete in chat says Jay has to go soon. He's getting to the end of his tape.
He is, yeah. We're gonna have to make sure you rewind it before you take it back. So think about the consequences of this for a second. This is why it's kind of scaring people. Is Google's like, yeah, this is really cool, and it'd be cool to have a personal assistant on your phone that could do things on your behalf in a natural way, and then even talk to you in a natural way. I think it'd be cool if Siri wasn't like completely fucking dumb, which it is. They're like, hey Siri, what's up? And it's like, hey, what's going on today? You know, hey, and incorporated things about my life into the conversation. That would be cool. What isn't cool about it is when this bot becomes available and used by scammers, used by companies that are trying to, you know, commit fraud or dupe you into buying things or sell products.
What if my biggest concern is what if it's able to mimic voices, meaning it can recreate my voice or your voice or whatever.
And that technology exists. Adobe already created it, and the reason it's not even mainstream and out right now is because there are some really serious
It's going
issues.
to be used for bad.
Absolutely.
So I like I said, I watched it several times. I've watched several people's videos about Duplex, and I'm so convinced it's fake, like 100% fake. Like they just took a recording and like, look at what our AI can do. We're still years away from this being real, but look what it can do. I'm sorry, if it's that good, you're gonna show it more. And what would have sold me as a believer that this is not being hoaxed or / embellished on its accuracy is if they showed some of the failures, because it could have been comical. If they were that far away, and anyone who follows this type of tech is going to be, is interested in the bloopers too when tech goes wrong, right? Show us some of the bloopers where it was like, I'd like to make a hair appointment. Okay, when were you thinking? Large pizza. Like, I don't know, whatever. So,
but at the same time, they don't want to show it's fallible. Like, even though that's a real world scenario, they don't want to show it. Every piece of tech is
fallible. Every single thing we know about tech is fallible in some way.
Sure, but Nvidia doesn't get up there and go, oh shit, our CPU will overheat if you run it for more than 10 minutes. I mean, they don't say that, even though it's true in some situations.
There is 3.5 out of 4 gigabytes. 4. I mean,
you're right. They're not going to get up there and just start saying, oh yeah, you don't got all your memory.
They did. No, they did.
Oh, did they
only
really?
After it was pointed out.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. But that's because that was responsive. That wasn't being proactive. But guys, think about what would happen if this technology, especially if it could do voice synthesis, of somebody else. Imagine having the East Indian scammers, for instance. Right now they call and they use an obvious computer voice. Most people aren't going to fall for it. They're going to shut it off. They're going to think it's fucked up and hang up. And plus they can only call as many people when there's human interaction as they have physical humans, right? Mm-hmm. If this bot existed, you could, in theory, simultaneously call hundreds of thousands of people without having to employ a scammer and have each one of those things have a custom tailored conversation with that person to dupe them into giving up something.
Yeah, you're right.
And it's very, very scary. Like, here's another technology. Have you ever looked at deep fakes before?
No.
Okay, so deep fakes is a technology that's open source that allows you to basically it's like face swapping, but it's face swapping on a level that you almost can't even tell that it's fake. It is so realistic. Like, did you ever see the video where they did the Barack Obama saying all the fucked up shit? It was like Keenan. Was it Keenan or Peele or one of those guys did it? He basically did his impression in live imposed Obama's face, saying something that he normally wouldn't say, and it looks almost dead on accurate. And so deepfakes is this technology where they can do that now. You basically train a system with tons of photos and pictures of the person, and it goes and graphs it and figures out the perfect lighting, figures out the exact amount of noise to put into it and everything. So in the end, you get something that looks incredibly natural, even with a lot of movement and a lot of like head turning and stuff like that. It's the first time I saw it, I was like, no fucking way. Like I've seen face swaps. You can tell it's a face swap.
Do you
right?
think that was how that one guy made that parody video of us?
Oh, absolutely. No, that's exactly what he used.
Okay,
that's
because I was a
little
little creeped out because he put our face on his face.
Yes, and it was very, very – now keep in mind, he trained that with very little data. The more pictures that you have and the more video that you have to train it with, the more accurate it would be. If he had to spent like a week on that and like took, 100 of your videos and processed 100 versions of your face in those videos and then used that and applied it, it would have looked dead on like you on his body, like perfectly.
Yeah.
And so that technology scares me. And audio is a lot less sophisticated to fool people than video, right? I mean, just from a pure sense point of view. So you bring these technologies together. We've got some interesting shit coming out in the future because you have the ability to basically put anybody's head or face on anybody else's body. You have, with Adobe's technology, you can synthetically create their voice from text, which means it's not even modulating your voice to another voice. It's literally a text script that it can read and convince somebody that it's that person. And you got a technology that's AI that can actually respond like a real human being.
Bright Gaming
what do you end up?
Bright Gaming is telling me they do porn with celebs with this technology.
Okay, I'll be honest. I did go look at that. So it's okay. You got me. You got me. But Jay already knew that long before this conversation went down the Obama road. That was me grasping. I was like, oh yeah, God, was there another video other than porn? Oh yeah, it was the Obama one. But anyways, the fact that these three technologies exist, once they converge and come together, you're gonna have the ability to basically have a
you had to use that choice of words on the porn one.
Which one? What choice of words?
They come together.
They come together. I just got that. Okay. But the point being is just imagine if you had a Skype call that came from a scammer that was spoofing that they were your wife. They looked like your wife. They sounded like your wife. And now they get you to say a whole bunch of fucked up shit and then record it. And then they publish that. And then the people watching the recording are like, did he really say that? Or is that just another?
How about a step further?
Yeah. You never know it was real.
You've my wife and like the people at my daughter's school, like they kind of know what each other sound like on the phone and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Imagine the whole like calling up and be like, hey, I'm sending blah 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 to pick up my daughter from school today, because there's like a if someone unknown comes to the school to pick up, they've got to be like on a release card, yada yada yada, right? Yeah. So imagine that.
That's really fucked up.
And imagine if they had enough of your information, like if there was like a password, that has to be set or something like that they could totally do that. There's so much bad technology. Not only makes our life easier and more convenient, it also makes it more convenient for people to do bad things. So
and like bad evidence and stuff. Like think about it. It's like now we got to wait for Jake Paul to do something fucking stupid. But what happens when people just start putting everybody's faces in all kinds of videos, but they're so accurate and so believable, or even that you can't tell if it's fake or not,
or even the voice changing on the phone? Because how many times have phone calls and wiretaps been evidence?
A lot.
So
I mean, video is admissible in court. It's actually like one of the higher levels of evidence. What happens when that goes away?
I'm talking about just audio tapes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, like imagine if you robbed a bank and your lawyer comes in and goes, actually we made another video with deep fakes that puts Barack Obama's face on all the people that are robbing the bank and it looks perfectly real. So you need to dismiss that. Like shit. They were literally there and cameras were pointing at him and still. But it's very scary. The future is very scary. But at the same time, it's kind of exciting that technology is reaching a point where AI is combining with both the ability to mimic human expression and human voice.
Yeah.
Pretty soon, we're going to be talking to our phones like it's the fucking LCARS system on the Enterprise. I mean, we're going to just be like, computer, I want a turkey sandwich. And it's going to call down to fucking Subway. And then it's going to call an Uber Eats to go pick it up and bring it to you. And then it's going to tell you when it's there and even answer the door and take delivery of the sandwich. It's going to be a very weird future, guys.
Oh, that's not scary at all. Okay, so I
want a sandwich.
When we get at
use your words, Jay. Use your words.
We're gonna go now, but I wanted to update. You guys remember last week we were talking about the processing time of videos, and I was complaining that it was taking several hours for videos to even process 1080p, and up to 24 hours for 4K to process. And Jerry had this suggestion: sign up for YouTube Red and upload and try. So I want to report that. When we ended the stream last week, Jerry stayed online with me, and I signed up for YouTube Red, and I still see ads. What the fuck? I just realized that. Anyway, what to figure that out? I just realized I still see ads play.
You're probably like, oh, I pushed the wrong button, didn't sign up for it.
Oh, I'm tired. Oh, red tube. That's different. No, I'm just kidding.
Not really.
So, but I do know my YouTube Red account is active because they send me emails like, here's what today's, blah 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 from YouTube Red.
And you didn't notice any appreciable change though, right?
Nothing changed whatsoever.
Okay.
But Jerry had another theory that maybe they are trying to bump up smaller channels by processing priority based on sub count. I don't know.
Slow down the big guys, speed up the small guys.
The video that I uploaded last night on the vlog channel was 14 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
Processed 1080p within a minute. So I don't know.
There you go.
And I've uploaded 3 videos today to YouTube, and all of them are still processing 360p.
And the fundamental difference between your two channels, your vlog channel was created much later and has a lower subscriber count.
And until that video went up last night, had not seen an upload in over a year.
So what that tells me, I mean, again, there's a lot of other factors in here that it could be, but just preliminary looking at it, it looks like YouTube is showing clear favoritism to these smaller channels and slowing down the bigger guys.
Oh, are you ready are you ready for this?
Go for it.
So on the vlog channel, I'm subscribed to the main channel. And on the main channel, I'm subscribed to the vlog channel, right? And I do that because I can then see what things look like from the subscriber perspective. I'm always cognizant of, like, what does it look like as a subscriber? On the vlog channel, I have not received a notification of videos going live on my main channel in I don't know how long. Within minutes of me hitting publish on last night's video, my main channel got a notification.
Same
Cars
thing
and
happened
Vlogs
last.
with JayzTwoCents has just uploaded a video. It's like, it explains why the viewership on the main channel is down.
Yeah, and last time I uploaded a video, same thing happened. The video got the lowest viewership. Like, it was a good video, solid video topic that people love that I do. It got some of the lowest viewership, like worse than my talking head videos I did a month ago, right? And so I went in and I looked at the analytics, like where the views are coming from, and the majority of them came from social media, and everybody said, I didn't know you released a video. Even weeks later, people were saying I never showed up in their notification
Daddy
box.
Labs just said, what about the bitrate? Was it the same? No, they were not the same, to be fair. The vlog channel was an OBS capture of the camera, and then I just uploaded that, whereas I am uploading at 40 megabit per second YouTube preset in Adobe. I can test that, I guess, by uploading a low bit rate and see what happens. So we'll do a part 2
I'd try
of
that
this.
because that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Like, you need to upload the same exact thing to both channels and see what happens, because it is possible the codec you're using is incredibly hard to
What I'll
transcode.
do is I'll take a file. Probably not today because I got to get my ass in this bike before it gets dark and stuff. But I'll take a file that took forever on the main channel, upload the same file on the second channel, and see what happens.
Do it. I'm curious, and I'd love to know the results of that, because YouTube's doing a lot of weird shit.
I want to point out, too, we didn't do, like, any car talk today, so we'll have to make up for that. Next week, we're not doing a tech talk, though. I'm going to be on my way back from Vegas doing
Old
Man versus Build Season 3, but we will be back May 24th, so put that on your calendars, guys. All right, we will see you next time. Guys, you know where to find Jerry? Probably in bed. No, I'm just kidding.
Probably in bed. I mean, let's be honest.
I love you, guy. All right, here goes the outro.
Roll it. Thanks for watching Tech Talk 161. Google Duplex sounds a hell of a lot better than this shitty voice modulator built into this Yamaha MG10XU mixer. Have a good time, guys. We all love you. Well, most of you. Not the trolls, though. Fuck you.
We definitely love parts of you.
Yeah.